Hi everyone, and welcome to my portion of the Christmas collaboration, Christmas in July, and welcome to Louise McKay Art. And in this portion, I'm going to present two videos to you in less than 12 minutes. And the first video, as you can see, is going to be some bloom tiles. And I make a set of 4 coasters, and you'll see the dry resined results at the end. In the second video, you're going to see me do something in a landscape swipe, and then I'm going to do some paint additions afterward. And it's something I've never done before on a poured canvas, so you'll see the results at the end of the second video. So one of the requirements for this collaboration is to use bright sparkly colors, reds and golds, and we had to either sing a jingle, a Christmas song, or share a story. So in both of the videos, I've opted to share a story and spare you my songs. So for this part of the video, I'm going to share the story about Christmas Eves in my house in Wallingford, Connecticut, where I grew up. And what we would do every Christmas Eve is my mom would make some amazing lobster rolls on fresh buttered lobster on nice fresh toast. And we would have French fries with it, cooked in Crisco. Yeah, I said it, Crisco. If that wasn't heart attack on a plate, I don't know what was, but boy, was it good. And we had just a delicious time having the fantastic dinner. And then we would clear the table and we would get set up for a game of setback. And we would play individual setback with my grandmother, my aunt, my brothers, and my parents. And the highlight of the story is that we would always play for pennies. And Dad always had these penny jars that would sit from year to year just for these games. And every time we played, we would sit down, and whoever had the luxury of sitting next to my dad was always at risk, because my dad had a wandering hand, and his hand would kind of sneak across the table or sneak around your back or sneak from under the table, and suddenly you'd be penniless. I mean, this guy was stealthy, but it was so much fun. It was the laugh and the highlight of the night every time. It didn't matter who played and who won or lost. It was, how many pennies did Dad get this year? Just such a fun time. So those are my 2 Christmas stories. That's Christmas Eve, and then I'll be sharing a story in the next video as well. All right, enjoy the rest of the video and leave your comments below. All right, take care, everybody. And a little tidbit about the creation of this particular coaster and the other 3 that go with it. I made this set without any intention of Christmas in July. And welcome back to part 2 of this collaboration Christmas in July, and I hope you enjoy this video. This is something new to me, not the swipe, but what I do afterward. And what I've got here is basically an 80-minute video that I have condensed down and squeezed into a 7-minute time frame. So I hope I have the essence of everything you need to see, and you can still get out what you need to get out on how I did the painting. So basically I have a landscape that I'm laying down the colors for, and I will have all the colors specifically called out in the description below so you can see what I've used. And I'm going to be starting out with a landscape swipe, and then I'll let you see what's going to become of it by the end. So like I mentioned in the prior video, one of the requirements is to either sing or tell a story. So you're going to see by the end of this, when I share the story, why I picked what I do in this video to go with the story I'm going to tell. All right, hope you enjoy the video, everybody. So in case you're wondering what I'm using in my hand, it's a piece of cut up cardstock from one of the mailers that came through, and I'm using it to sculpt the foreground that I'm going to develop here. All right, everybody, so the story, but even before the story, I will admit, I had a glass of wine before doing this evening addition touch-up with the mountains. And one of the problems I had with this painting is that my mountains were so far away perspective-wise in the distance, I needed to make them bigger. So I had a glass of wine one night, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do something to that painting. And this is what I ended up doing. Now, for those of you that may know me a little better, I grew up in Connecticut where there were mountains and hills, and I'm going to be going to North Carolina where there are lots of mountains and hills. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be living on a mountain and trees. And so one of the things that I wanted to share about my Christmas story is growing up in Connecticut as a child, there were no Home Depots, there were no nurseries for plants back then. What you did for Christmas is you went out to the Christmas tree farm, and didn't matter what the weather was, and you actually hoped it was snowing because it added to the spirit of the time. And we would take our family out there, winter boots on, saw in hand, and we would go to the Christmas tree farm, and we would actually tromp through the snow and pick out our Christmas tree from the farm and saw it down, pop it on the top of the car, and take it home and decorate it. And that was just such a special time because there was just something about bringing that tree home and setting it up, and the smell from that tree, freshly cut, no pine needles dropping all over the place. It was just spectacular. It was just amazing. And maybe being a kid, you think back on those memories and it just has a special place in your heart. But I'll tell you what, it was amazing. And the other part about having that tree is that it became like the rallying point. So when all the family came over, grandmother and my aunt, and then whatever extended family came to join us, it was like the gathering place. It was so much fun. Anyway, I hope that little story brings you some Christmas in July spirit, and you enjoy the rest of the video and the rest of the collaboration. Take care, everybody.